Well, hello guys. Welcome back to Arena Football Statement. I am your host, the Dukester, and today I have a quick recap of Week 7. How about a nail-biter in Omaha? An unexpected blowout, and a 1-point victory on the final play of the game. How about an interview with a coach who hasn't notched a loss this season? All of this coming up on This Week in the CIF. Let's start by reviewing a few games, shall we? The Billings Outlaws traveled to the Slaughterhouse, where the fans were treated with a very good game. Charles McCollum continues his impressive streak, and the Outlaws improved to 3-1 with a 48-41 victory over the Bovine Bunch. Let's go to Dodge, where gunslinging action happens often. Rapid City Marshals take to the road for the second time this season, and the storm be a-brewing all game long as Southwest Kansas delivers the ultimate beatdown, 63-12. The uniforms on both of these teams are mwah, mwah. So even though the Marshals got beat around like Miss Hennigan's red-headed, freckle-faced stepchildren, they looked really good doing it. Let's move on. Closest game of all surprisingly took place in Topeka, Kansas, where the expansion Tropics looked like they'd have their first ever league win, except for the final play was one play too many. The Wyoming Mustangs sneak out a 1-point victory in dramatic, controversial fashion, and now have almost as many wins as they've had head coaches.
All right, ladies and gentiles, crocodiles and reptiles, my guest today is the head coach of the Sioux City Bandits. His name is Erv Strohbeen. Did I get that right, Coach?
Yes, you did, sir. How you doing?
Very good. My first question for you is, where do you get a name like Erv? Like, where did your parents come up with that?
I'm actually Erv III. We all have different middle names, though, so I guess it's a family name. Not too many Ervs around anymore. They're all old guys.
Okay. It is a very rare name, and I hope you'll excuse me because I'm very nervous about this interview. But first question for you, considering you guys are sitting up 4-0, you're welcoming the champion Omaha Beef into town this weekend. Have you ever been undefeated this late in the season?
Yeah, we have actually. It's been a while, so it's kind of a nice feeling.
Would you consider the Omaha Beef Sioux City Bandits like a heated rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a part of this organization for 22 years, and going back to my playing days in the old Omaha Civic, there have been some knockdown, drag-out fights between the two, and all the games, they go down to the wire. I was telling our guys last night, last year we won a championship, was 2015, so it's been a while. And I think Omaha, that was one of their down years, and they only had one win that year. And you know who it was against? It was against the Sioux City Bandits. So
wow.
we went on to win the championship that year, but it didn't matter during a regular season. So it's a classic rivalry game. Throw out all the records, throw out all the stats, throw out everything you think about this. It's going to be a good game, so you better get there.
Very good to hear. Let's talk about your organization for a bit. I understand you've worked for the Sioux City Bandits for quite some time. Did you play as well?
Yeah, I played for 9 years from 2000 to 2008. Then I was an assistant coach for a few years and have been the head coach since 2012. So been a part of it since the inception when it was called the Sioux City Attack in the old IFL. So I've been around a while.
Wow. Well, so you're pretty attached to the organization then.
I'm originally from Sioux City. Been a part of this since a year post-college. Was one of the first 10 players signed to a contract with the old organization, the Sioux City Attack. And it's been a blessing to be a part of this for 22 years or whatever it is now.
That's awesome. So recently, the organization donated $7,500 to a children's hospital. What does it mean to you to work for an organization that's that involved in the community?
These guys this year are doing a great great job. In the past couple of years with COVID, we haven't been able to get out in the schools and get out in the hospitals and do the kind of things that, traditionally the Sioux City Bandits have always done. So it's really nice to be able to get back and start doing those things. And I think it helps our crowds. It helps community involvement. It helps people, care about us because we're showing that we care about them. So it was exciting to see those guys go present that check yesterday. Our marketing director, Brett's been doing a great job this year with all that sharing with the community and the indoor football community on social media. He's doing a great job with that. My players are doing a great job getting out in the community. And I think the community has been embracing it. So it's a really cool deal to see us being a part of the Children's Miracle Network.
Well, Erv, let me throw you a little bit of a curve ball here. I don't want to make it too obvious, but I'm a huge Sioux City Bandits fan. And I just wanted to ask you, like playing the champion Omaha Beef, would you say you're more excited or more nervous?
I would say I'm more excited, definitely. I don't typically get too nervous anymore. It's more excitement. These games are awesome to be a part of. Your ball that you're holding is very ugly right now. Just so you can, I'll get that on the record.
Sorry.
There you go.
There we go.
But I respect the heck out of Ricky and the organization, Marvin. We're good buddies off the field. He was texting me this morning, about the time frame that we gave him and all that. We're joking back and forth. But when the chips are down and the game's going, throughout those 60 minutes, it's a heated rivalry. After the game, we're going to shake hands and be friends again, and maybe I'll even buy him a Bandits beer on the way home. These are the games that we still are. I personally, and I think my staff and players, this is why we do this. They're not making millions of dollars to do this. So anytime you have a rivalry like the Beast, those stupid, ugly orange, red or orange and black jerseys are going to come up here ringing their cowbells. We appreciate their fans coming to Sioux City and spending money in our concession stands, all that good stuff. I hate those cowbells, always will, but always have great interactions with the community.
Last question for you. Whenever you're hosting the Omaha Beef, do you guys just take the whole team out and just feast on a good steak?
Well, we're hoping definitely prime rib is for dinner Saturday night, and hope that, they're going to be serving it up.
That's great. That's great. Well, either way, it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, these two teams have a long history together and doing quite well this year so far. So what would you say will be the outcome of this Saturday's game?
Well, if history repeats itself, this is, I talked to the guys again about this at practice last night. We got to defend our home turf. It's always tough to go into an Omaha or a Sioux City or Salina for that matter and take a win from the opponent. So I love the fact that we are playing at home this week. I hope that gives us an advantage. But again, they've beaten us here. We've beaten them in Omaha. So my players and the staff just have to come ready to play and coach their butts off this week. And again, throw all the expectations out. These games come down to crazy outcomes in the end. So if you're not sitting in the stands and, when the clock reads 0-0-0, you're probably missing a good game.
Well, folks, his name is Erv Strohbeen, the head coach of the Sioux City Bandits. Get your tickets in Sioux City, Iowa, as they host the champion Omaha Beef. It's going to be a fun game to watch, folks. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, and good luck Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Let's move on to the previews of this weekend. We'll begin in Dodge City with the Southwest Kansas Storm hosting the winless Topeka Tropics. The good news for the Tropics is they lost by only 1 point, which means I get to stop predicting they'll win by 2. Heading up north from there, we have the Wyoming Mustangs hosting the Billings Outlaws as neighboring states battle for Western supremacy. Billings is on a 3-game win streak, and among their victims are the 2 teams that played in last year's Champions Bowl. Mustangs back in the losing column. In Salina, Kansas, liberty has been restored because marshals are bringing law and order. Or are they? So far, they've looked pretty ugly in the state of Kansas, and the Liberty are well rested and out for blood. I believe it to be no contest here as Salina lets out some frustration. Last, we go to what I think will be the game of the week in Sioux City, where the undefeated Bandits host the champion Omaha Beef. There's no doubt this will be a fun contest, but Sioux City's bye week may have given them the rest they need to stay undefeated. And that wraps up my previews for Week 8. Get your tickets, bring some friends. Playoff contention is heating up in the CIF. So if you can't make it to a game, here's some good news. If you go to the Champions Indoor Football channel, you can watch them live on YouTube. And you don't want to miss this, because what you're going to see is probably a storm in the tropics, marshals struggling for their liberty, bandits corralling beef, and outlaws breaking mustangs, and Dirty Dookie soaking in an Epsom salt bath while he watches the games with this expression on his face. And that is my Arena Football Statement.